Namaskar, Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita. Kathamritam tapta jeevanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham shravanamangalam Srimadaadatam bhuvigrunantiye bhurida janaha. Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita Pratham Bhag Tritiyo Khando Shashta Pariched, the sixth chapter. And we have seen in our last two readings how beautifully Sri Ramakrishna has explained the seven planes and what happens to our mind when it reaches those seven planes. The first three planes down below, they are nothing but worldly enjoyments of lust and greed, and then start the spiritual experiences. The light, divine light in the center of the heart, and then talking nothing but about the Lord, about the Mother, chanting the name, singing the glories. And then here in the sixth center, it is nothing but spiritual illumination. And the mind then doesn't want to go down, go back to the lower three stages at all. It just wants to dwell in the fourth, fifth, and sixth. That is the spiritual illumination that we get at the sixth center. And finally, as the upward journey progresses up and up, having reached the Sahasrara, the seventh plane on the top of the head, that's it, the Samadhi. And Sri Ramakrishna says that once a person attains Samadhi, all the formal, injunctional, ritualistic duties, they just drop off. And now Sri Ramakrishna is telling about it. And yesterday we saw how we read how he told Shivnath that people keep on talking about Shivnath till Shivnath has not reached the uh, venue of this semi-annual function of the Brahmo Samaj at Sinti. The moment Shivnath reaches this garden house of Beni Madhav Pal in Sinti, then all the devotees, all the Brahmos, they start saying, here comes Shivnath. And then all the talk about Shivnath, all the talk about Shivnath's greatness, his knowledge, his teachings, everything stops. Likewise, when the mind reaches the seventh plane, all the formal duties, they drop off. And now Sri Ramakrishna is going to tell his own experience, how he realized that the duties drop off when one attains Samadhi. Now Sri Ramakrishna is telling his own experience. আমার এই অবস্থার পর গঙ্গা জলে তর্পণ করতে গিয়ে দেখি যে হাতের আঙ্গুলের ভিতর দিয়ে জল গলে পড়ে যাচ্ছে. Now Sri Ramakrishna says, I realized this thing, one thing after having experienced Samadhi. আমার এই অবস্থা পর, after having experienced the Samadhi, I went as usual. I went to the Ganges, the river Ganga, to offer the oblation of water to the Lord. That is normally what we do when we go and take the holy bath, that we take water in our hand and offer it to the Lord. Now, that is called as tarpan. Sri Ramakrishna says, Ganga jole tarpan korte giye, when I went to offer the water offerings to the Lord, দেখি, I saw যে হাতের আঙ্গুলের ভিতর দিয়ে জল গলে পড়ে যাচ্ছে. The moment, normally what happens when we take a palm full of water in our hand, then some water retains, and then that water from this the cup we form by joining two palms, that water, then we offer to the Lord. What Sri Ramakrishna's experience was. He says, the moment I picked water from between the crevices of the fingers, from between the gaps of the fingers, the fingers could join themselves to form that gap-free pleural cavities. And Sri Ramakrishna says, the moment I picked up water started falling down from, I just couldn't make it into a cup. That's what his experience was. The gaps in the fingers, they remained as such, and all the water that he had collected in his palms, in the bowl of his palms, just dropped as it is back into the Ganges without having been offered to the Lord. তখন হলধারীকে কন্তে কন্তে জিজ্ঞাসা করলাম, দাদা কি হলো? And then Sri Ramakrishna says, then I went to my elder cousin. Haldari was Sri Ramakrishna's elder cousin, a distant cousin, elder to him. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, and I just don't make out what is happening. Why I am not able to offer this water offering to the Lord, to the Mother, to the God. Why the water is flowing down from the gaps between my fingers? He was very upset, and then crying, he went to his elder brother, cousin Haldari, and asked him, brother, Dada, ki holo? What is happening? What has happened, oh my elder brother? And Haldari bolle, eke goli to host bole. And then Haldari told me that this condition is known as Galita Hasta. Galita is to drop from the hands, from the gaps between these fingers. That is called as Galita Hasta. Ishbor darshaner por prapunati kormo thake na. And then he realized that having realized the God, having attained the ultimate stage of samadhi, having become one with the Lord, all these works like the offerings to the Lord, the worship, formal worship, japa, meditation, all these drop off. And that is the great experience Sri Ramakrishna is sharing with the Brahmo devotees and with us also. That this is what happens when a person reaches the ultimate stage on this upward journey of spirituality. And then Sri Ramakrishna says how this happens. Then he gives another example to explain this particular happening, this particular condition, how everything else drops off when one merges oneself with the Lord. সংকীর্তনে প্রথম বলে নিতাই আমার মাতা হাতি. This is in the religious singing of hymns. One first sings that Nitai is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's brother. The Chaitanya and Nityananda, these two, they have spread the name of, they have spread the bhakti path in Bengal before the advent of Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna has earlier also in the Kathamrita, he had told us about Chaitanya and Nityananda. And he says here that when we start the spiritual singing of the hymns, first they start singing with Nitai Amar Mata Hati. Like Nitai is our mad elephant. And they start with this line, Nitai Amar Mata Hati. Nitai is our mad elephant. Then ভাव গাঢ় হলে শুধু বলে হাতি হাতি. Then when you get deep into that singing mood, when your devotional spirit gets so much focused on the Lord, when your devotional mood deepens to a great extent, then what happens? You forget singing the earlier part, Nitai our. Then you just keep on repeating Hati, 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 Hati. Nitai Amar Mata Hati. Forget. Nitai our mad elephant. You forget. You only keep on chanting. You are so much in deep devotional mood. You forget chanting the earlier part of that line. Nitai is our mad. You forget. You just keep on chanting elephant, elephant, Hati, 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 Hati. You get into that mood. তারপর কেবল হাতি. And then not even repetition of hati, hati, hati or elephant, elephant. You just hati. That's it. You just lose your consciousness. You just keep on dancing, just uttering hati words. এই কথাটি মুখে থাকে. And then you have only one word on your tongue, on your lips. Hati, elephant. Hati, hati. And finally a stage comes. Sheshe. The final stage is ha bolte bolte bhav samadhi hoy. And towards the end, at the culmination of this spiritual mood, you don't even pronounce hati as a full word. Just when you utter ha, you get into samadhi. So you start with Nitai Amar Mata Hati. Then Nitai Amar Mata goes into oblivion. Then you only repeat Hati, Hati, Hati. And finally a stage comes. You don't even pronounce Hati fully. Just by uttering Ha, you get into Samadhi. তখন সে ব্যক্তি এতক্ষণ কীর্তন করেছিল চুপ হয়ে যায়. And then just when a stage comes that just after uttering Ha when you enter Samadhi, the same person who has been all along been singing beautifully in loud voice and making others also sing, suddenly when he reaches this stage at uttering Ha he enters into Samadhi and he becomes totally quiet, he becomes totally silent. No more, not a single word, not a single utterance from his mouth. Then he's just engrossed in that experience. He can't call it, he can't name that, he can't describe that experience. But he just gets merged into that experience, in that blissful experience, and he becomes silent. And Sri Ramakrishna further gives a beautiful, very interesting example. He says, যেমন ব্রাহ্মণ ভোজনে প্রথমে খুব খাইছে. Like when you are giving a feast to the Brahmins, you invite some 50, 100 Brahmins, they are all sitting on the floor, it's in front of them. Initially what happens? They come and sit and there's lot of talking between themselves. How are you? How are you? Yeah, hi, che. That is the term used in colloquial Bengali. There is a lot of activity, hustle bustle. That, oh, you have got a seat. Have you found a seat? Oh, you are sitting there. Hello, how are you? All those things. হুম? যখন সকলে পাতা সম্মুখে করে বসলো, তখন অনেক হেইচেই কমে গেল। And then what happens? When they sit down, the plate is being filled, in the plate in front of them, and anticipating food to come. Then suddenly noise level starts coming down. Then they're all eagerly waiting. Now, what is going to come? What is going to be served? All their attention from hello, how are you? This, how is that fellow? All that stops. They just sit there. All the noise level suddenly comes down. তখন অনেক হেঁচে কমে গেল। কেবল লুচিয়ান লুচিয়ান শব্দ হতে থাকে, and then only words one can hear in that hall where this feast is given is, oh, bring some luchi, bring some luchi. They now they can hear only the words of the item which they want to be served. So bring some luchi, bring some here, give the luchi here. Only that is the noise that one can hear. তারপর যখন লুচি তরকারি খেতে আরম্ভ করে, তখন বার আনা শব্দ কমে গেছে। And then what happens? That once the eating of these luchis and vegetables, that process starts while eating. Then what happens? বার বার আনা শব্দ কমে গেছে। The noise which was there initially 100%. Now here Thakur has used the term bara ana. Bara ana is 75%. Because in the earlier days when the monetary currency was rupee ana pay. So 6 paise was 1 ana and 16 annas was 1 rupee. So 12 annas is considered to be 3/4. So Sri Ramakrishna says the moment people start actually eating the luchi and the vegetables, 75% of the noise level automatically comes down. Then they don't even shout, bring luchi, give luchi here, give luchi to that man. Even that stops once they start eating. So from the earlier, from the time of entry into that dining hall, the noise level was at that time was 100%. Now suddenly, the moment they sat down in anticipation for food items to be brought in and served, automatically the noise level had come down. And then the only noise was bring luchi, serve him the luchi. So it came down. And once you start eating, further comes down by 12 annas. 75% comes down. So the noise pollution is only 25% when you start eating luchis and vegetables. যখন এই এলো, তখন চুপ চুপ শব্দ নাই বললেও হয়ে। And the moment Thakur said chup chup, everybody starts laughing, all the Brahmo devotees. And what does this mean? Then when finally they have curds, now that is the tradition that the food is served one by one, and finally comes after luchi and vegetables and all the other items, then comes the curd. যখন দই এলো, when they have curds, they can only listen one noise, one sound. তখন soup, like that kind of thing. They will take the curd and only that sound. Then all other sounds vanish. all other noise vanishes. And then all the Brahmo devotees laughed at them. Shabdo nai bolilyo hoye. One can say that when they are slurping the curd, not a single word is also uttered. It is just the slurping sound of soup taking the curd. Abar por nidra. That is the beautiful thing after such a wonderful heavy feast. And what happens? You have finished the luchi, you have finished the vegetables, you have stopped talking, and you have finally the curd has been served, and all the noise is gone. Only that sound you can listen. And after that heavy feast, what else remains? Nothing but siesta. A post lunch nap. তখন চোখ then when you gets into that post lunch nap, total silence, no noise at all, unless unless you have the habit of snoring. But that is unconsciously, that all the noise uh, created with our conscious effort is all stopped. So likewise, Sri Ramakrishna says, once you attain samadhi, everything stops. You don't have to do anything. You are just one with Paramatman. The Jivatman becomes one with the Paramatman, and you keep on enjoying that bliss. So we will stop our reading here today of this sixth chapter. We will again continue this sixth chapter in our next reading also, because the topic is still on, and Thakur is further going to explain on this particular spiritual truth, how the duties drop off when one attains samadhi, how all the noise in one's life stops when one attains samadhi. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swami.